So let's talk fair wear and tear in residential rentals in South Africa specifically. What does the concept mean and how do you define it, and how do you apply the concept of fair wear and tear in a rental property? Over the years, as a rental specialist, I've had a lot of folks express quite a bit of confusion around the concept of fair wear and tear. Loosely defined, fair wear and tear is the natural degradation or depreciation or deterioration of an item like a fixture or a fitting within a rental property by virtue of its ordinary use. In other words, things like the deterioration of a carpet by virtue of walking across it. Now, the fair wear and tear concept is usually mentioned within a rental agreement in a term often described as follows: that the tenant is responsible for the upkeep of the property and fair wear and tear is accepted. And the word accepted really meaning that the fair wear and tear is an exception. If there's a very complicated matter and it goes to court, the court will often interpret the case with regards to various factors. The most important of those factors is the incoming inspection. In other words, the baseline record of the condition of the property at commencement of the lease. And this is absolutely crucial. You can't really apply fair wear and tear as a concept without having a baseline reference. Now, as a landlord, you have to be reasonable around fair wear and tear and not be charging your tenant for items that they've caused by the normal and ordinary use of items within a rental property. As a tenant, you also have to apply a measure of reasonable common sense and take reasonable care of a landlord's items and not use them in a malicious or abusive way. Another very relevant consideration is the age of an item at the incoming. And this means, for example, if a carpet, which usually has a 8 to 10 year lifespan, is 5 to 6 years old at the time of handing it to a tenant. If the tenant consequently stays 3 years and the wear and tear on that carpet means it is now kaput, it means that the tenant certainly wouldn't be liable to replace the carpet to a new condition. Really, the most important consideration for you as a landlord when you check your tenant out and you've been a diligent landlord that had an incoming inspection and you've had good record of the condition of the property is to apply a measure of fairness and a measure of common sense. Now, naturally, by virtue of people living in your property, it is going to deteriorate. And especially if you're the kind of landlord that has neglected maintenance for a long period of time, don't make deduction of your tenant's deposit to improve the property's condition by virtue of you having neglected maintenance.